Hey y'all, this is Niver, and it's Niver Niverland. Mama Moochie, a la Moochie's Italian, is in town, and so on the fly today, after another podcast we recorded this morning, I gave my dad and mama a holler and say, please come down, Ma and Pog, be on my show. We sat for a little bit, and they are my source code, as I mentioned. They are the ones that made me who I am today, so please take a minute, listen to Ma and Pa Niver on Niver Niverland.
I am kind of
What?
kind of shy in this respect.
Well, there's no audience. I mean, it's just
That's
just
right.
us, you know. At least
right.
there's no audience.
Thank you.
No. Well, I woke her up, said that Tim wants an interview. Oh, no.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
All right, so when you talk, you do have to, did he tell you this?
No.
You have to kind of, you have to
Speak up.
Yeah, and you have to keep it a couple inches from your mouth.
Okay.
And I wasn't prepared for this.
Okay.
I didn't know.
Well, why are we here?
Well, you're with her.
Oh, I'm with
That's
her.
why you're here.
Oh, I'm just a pretty face.
Well, you're something.
With a squeaky knee.
Ooh, the squeaky knee. You good, Matt? You're rolling. All right. Hey, so this is Niver Niverland. Did you ever think you were going to be on a podcast?
No.
It worked out this morning, Dad. I'm not talking to just you. I'm talking to the podcast universe.
That's right.
Yeah, so don't, like if I, just so you know. Anyway, so
Okay.
you guys are in visiting from New Hampshire, and I'm just so glad to have you in town. My son is graduating. Wiley is graduating from Central High School, and that's why you're here. Dad was going to come down and listen. We asked if he could come down and listen to the podcast that we did earlier this morning, and I told him no, absolutely not. And then I came up with the bright idea, because I'm innovative, to have you show up today because you're here. And it's not a slight to you. You had a small part in bringing me up. I just didn't want everybody to think that it was a major role, but I didn't want to ignore you either. Mom, however, you were a big influence on me.
Really?
What do you mean?
Well, I'm glad. I'm glad I was an influence on you.
Yes, a good influence on me. I have often told the story that the reason that I do what I do is clearly because of you two. Dad, I didn't really think this until this morning, but Dad's kind of the hospitality
Yes,
of
he
me,
is.
you know. And that's why you're here, Dad. I just wanted to say that part. Like, you are the hospitality part of me, the way that you engaged with your community when we were growing up and things you did to be a part of it. Like, you know, going to church and all those things that were like part of the duty of being like a member of your community. And that is, thanks, Dad.
My pleasure.
It's weird. You don't know you're necessarily what you're instilling in your kid when you're raising them.
No, you don't.
I mean, you're trying to, but you don't really know. Like, I got work ethic from y'all.
Yes, I think you might.
What do you mean, might?
Well, we do work hard. We did work hard. And I think
Yeah.
yes.
I thought you were saying I didn't have work ethic.
Oh, no. Absolutely not.
No, it's one of those things. Like, so I talked about like the history of me as it relates to restaurants, and this is actually a product of my family. Mm-hmm. I'm interviewing you. You're Audrey Moochie Niver, but I'm interviewing you in a restaurant that's named after you.
Which I'm very proud.
Oh, Ma. I'm very connected to my Italian roots. I think that Dad was like, you know, like the outgoing person in the community, but when people come together, it was usually around food at our house.
Yeah.
And so Dad would get the party started and you'd take care of it.
Mm-hmm. He always did the inviting and then said, we're having people come for this or whatever.
Did you like doing
might
that?
have been. Yes.
You like cooking for them?
I did.
What was the feeling when you were like cooking for people then? Like, do you remember like when you had those big parties? Or?
I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed cooking for people. I enjoy cooking for my family, even now. And I do it less now than I did before. But I've taught my daughters well, so they're now doing the cooking.
Oh, they're so good.
Yes, they are.
They're so good, and they have little. We all have our little different take on the stuff that
Absolutely.
you've given us.
Right. Yeah.
We adapt it into our own families or whatever.
That's right.
Dad, can you think of something that you instilled in me?
I remember talking to somebody at, Bob Conrad, who was my business manager at West Valley. And I said, Tim is quite a smoozer. And he said, well, where do you think he got that from? And I was a people-oriented guy, had good people skills. You've added to that with your warm Italian blood. I grew up in kind of a German household. I don't think my father ever said, I love you, or showed affection. And your mother's side, they were all very warm. And so I think you got a little bit of both of us.
I act with my love every day.
Yeah.
I act with my love every day. That is like the most important component of my life, without fail. And it's maybe more for others than myself at times. You know what I mean? Just like we always give. We've been a family that's always given, and like opened our hearts to people. You would have never known, kind of in a way, Dad, that you were from a family that didn't necessarily show affection. Though you were always holding me in your lap and all of that. So like love is like, I think, the ultimate thing that you two instilled in me. If I'm saying it overall,
I hope so.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah. But we were talking. I interviewed two people earlier that, they're both from different families, but they have very, very similar things, and they were in parallel lives, and then they ended up meeting each other, and they have complementary skills. And, as couples kind of combine as couples, you find out what those complementary skills are and how to use them. And I think you and Dad definitely gave us that. There's a bunch of teachers in our family, not a lot of artists, but like hard workers.
Probably Pam is the most creative, but Julie is also creative.
Yeah, now when they found their insides, they're out there doing their own businesses. Yeah. Did you imagine that all three of your kids would have had, Julie had a smaller business, but that your kids would have businesses?
No, I just hoped that they would be successful, and they have been. So I'm very proud.
Yeah, Ma.
Yeah.
Wow. I was thinking about what you guys used to do and how many hours it used to take and all the meals that you always put up. Like every day you would cook a full meal.
For dinner, yes.
Yes, for dinner. But I mean, every day. And we all participated in that moment. That was, you had begrudgingly clearing and setting the table. Like it took forever. It took 2 minutes. But you asked me to do those things. There was structure around food. That's when we got together. That's really old school. A lot of people don't eat like that anymore, or have that family structure. Yeah. It was a beautiful part.
Yeah.
When you grew up, Mom, what foods do you remember from early on?
Oh boy.
Can you remember?
A lot of things. My mother was a very economical person. She really didn't know that, but she would make food out of leftovers, and she would call them popeta, which are little meatballs made out of leftover beef. We had a lot of things. We always had a salad with our dinner, and I still have that.
Yep, me too. Me too.
Yeah, and but she would make on Fridays we would have tomatoes and eggs, which is a very unusual dish. Yet it's written up in one of the cookbooks I have, and I was surprised by that.
That's where you stir the eggs into like a tomato drops
into the sauce. Yeah,
egg drop soup, but tomato base.
Well,
basically, kind of. Do you see the
Well, we had egg
cooking?
drop soup. My mother always made egg drop soup. It was delicious. That was,
but not
that
clear.
was another thing.
That was tomato based, though, wasn't it?
No, That was a broth in a broth. The eggs and tomatoes you stew the tomatoes with onions and garlic and stuff, and then you stir in scrambled eggs.
Eggs that are uncooked, scrambled, and
Yes.
then you just kind of fold them
Fold
in.
them in.
I remember that.
And it makes a very creamy sauce. A creamy tomato sauce is what it is. And
I remember
that was one of
What-
my
why
very favorite.
Fridays?
Huh?
What, no meat Fridays? Is that why it was a Friday meal?
No, we ate fried eggs too, but that was a different meal.
No. Like, was there meat with that meal on a Friday?
No, there wasn't. No. If it was a Friday, that would be we'd have boiled potatoes and put a lot of butter on them and eat them with
Was that a
the sauce.
Catholic thing? No meat on Friday, though.
well, yes, it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then like when you did eat meats and when you did have like people over when you were younger, do you remember what those foods looked like?
Oh, she would roast chickens. She would. We didn't have a lot of beef, come to think of it. But you know what she would make? She would make a raw beef with a steak, like a
Like a
What do they
tartare?
call it? A tartare. On holidays, we would have that, and she always made meatballs and so forth. But she did roast beef, I suppose, but.
And
Not
then
often.
she'd always have sauce or something going like that.
Yeah,
Is it?
yeah,
What
the
did your
chicken-
dad take to work to eat? Do you remember? In the coal mine? He was
Oh
at
my
coal mine.
goodness, I don't remember what he did.
I wonder, would he
had
take like hard-boiled eggs or something like that?
No,
or-
I have no idea. I have no idea what his lunches were like. I don't remember my mother packing them. But they probably were good sandwiches of
Yeah.
salami and prosciutto and that kind of thing. He loved that stuff. My father was he ate everything. He ate sweetbreads. We ate sweetbreads. And it was interesting. It was interesting because I don't think I lacked for anything. Even when I was a child, I had lobster tail occasionally. Not all the time, but there were times when we had lobster tail.
Like it would just be there, like somehow it would get to Chick-Shinny, Pennsylvania, and
Yes.
you'd have. How the hell does lobster get to Chick-Shinny in Pennsylvania
Well,
in
it did.
19?
Well, the
It's
other
just availability. I
other
suppose
thing
that
my
there were lobsters everywhere then. They were like
yes.
being farmed like crazy. They were everywhere. I suppose the populations of lobsters was so high. I don't know. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, we ate a lot of seafood. She also would make a polenta. We'd have that, and
Like with a mushroom sauce out over it, or
absolutely with an Italian red sauce
oh yeah,
Yeah.
I love polenta with a simple tomato sauce
and
over it.
mushrooms, and that was a Friday meal as well. But those are things that I loved and that were different, And the ravioli were different. My mother made many ravioli, and
They were so thin and delicate.
yes, and her own pasta. Yes,
I mean, I remember
Macaroni.
you just got to watch how the water is because you don't want to
Yeah.
boil, you don't want to have that rolling at all, or they were so tender and
Yeah.
delicate they would fall apart. But we would end
Macaroni.
up eating like what was at the bottom of the boiled bowl, like the meat would fall out and it would cook. Remember that?
no.
You eat like if like some of the ravioli fell apart, they were in the water.
Oh yes, you did. Yeah.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah, and also she would make macaroni verde. Now the green macaroni is green, but hers were speckled with spinach, and they were delicious. Oh yes, it was so good. It was really good. Yeah. So there were just
Really
a lot of
cool,
things
though.
that she made. Yeah.
Yeah, I tell the story a lot about like Noni, your ma, like getting up in some of my early memories with eggs and breakfast. You know, how she'd poach the eggs that we all eat. The
Yes.
whole family eats the poached eggs
Yeah.
on crunchy toast, buttered toast with a little tab of butter inside the yolk, bunch of salt, a little bit of pepper, and pecorino romano cheese
Oh,
over
that's
the top.
one thing. My grandchildren love that. With the we use the pecorino romano cheese on top of that.
Yep.
Yes, it's delicious. Yes.
I told in the last podcast, I said, everybody's got a little secret about what they cook, and our family's secret really is pecorino romano cheese. It's like there's no substitute for it. Parmesan's great, and it's necessary in some applications, in my opinion. But pecorino romano makes our food distinctly what Mucci's food is in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
We have our own.
Very, very good cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We usually use Locatelli too. Maybe I can get Locatelli to sponsor me.
Yes.
What do you think?
You should do that.
I should get
that
Locatelli to
because it's
sponsor
the
me.
best cheese.
It is. Mom, we're selling this. You and me are going to sell Locatelli cheese. How does that sound to you?
Well, I buy it all the time.
I know. This is what I mean. So do I.
Yeah, it's
All
very
right,
good.
Locatelli. We're coming for you. We want that cheese money. We want that cheese. As the kids say. Nobody says that.
Right.
Well, I just, like I say, I didn't have everything really prepared today. I just thought it would be so cool to have you both come down and just sit in the restaurant named after you and have a little bit of chat. I can immortalize this moment while you're here visiting with me and just have a bit of a time capsule of you and this restaurant with me. And you both had an equal part in taking care of me and getting me to this point, and you filled us with the love, you filled us with the opportunities, and gave us opportunities, but you also let us have our, while you made us do stuff, you opened our brain by making us do those things, music and all those other things that you were like, stick with it.
That's right.
Like I didn't always want to, but I understand what you were doing, even better now. And you give us really a great platform for being good people in this world. And I'm just so thankful that we had a chance to chat.
Well, I'm thankful.
And I get to share you, you're beautiful. You're so cute. I get to share you with the people that, one of the people I work with call this source code. You are my source code. Like the two things that come together to make the source code for me. And this is how I'm built based on you two.
Yeah.
And it's cool to honor that.
We appreciate that, Tim.
Yeah, I honor it. Like Pam and Julie, my sisters, I told them that you were coming on, and they were just like, "Oh my God, she's gonna be so nervous." But I owe you guys a lot. And I never came to you for money ever, did I?
No.
Since I got out of college and you bailed me out of
Not
some dumb
really.
shit that I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, a couple times we bailed you out of jail.
No,
But
I've never been to jail. Zero record here. No felonies, though. No felonies, actually. They got reduced.
I think the one thing that we tried to teach you was never quit. And when it wasn't cool to be in the band anymore, we said, your teachers have got a lot invested in you, and now that you're pretty good with the trombone, it's payback time. And you did that, and you were featured at the state marching band contest. I believe it was that contest that you were featured with your trombone. We let you quit cross country.
It was in the Carrier Dome.
Syracuse. Yeah. Well, my boy played in the Carrier Dome in Syracuse.
Yeah, trombone.
And you went to the Mardi Gras.
Yeah.
Yes, that was a real
Listen.
experience.
When you're a kid, when you want to, self-determine every little piece, you always still need guidance. It doesn't end when you graduate high school. It doesn't end when you graduate college. You guys have been a supportive force in my life. You don't know what I do. You don't know this industry at all, though what the source code was something that created this.
Yes. Yeah.
It's really cool.
I think what's unique about your mother is a lot of people take a steak and throw it on a grill. Not your mother. It's prepared. It's got a distinctive taste. Always a lot of garlic in our food. So she's really a magician. I think that's what is unique about her mother and you.
We didn't keep the Italian language in our family, which I'm bummed about, but that's on me, to learn it. But you didn't either, right? We have so many things that live on, from the both of you, in the way we act and the way we talk and the way we cook and the way we entertain and the way we approach people. The fact that I can say hi to anybody in any room, anywhere, anytime. Bob Niver, Judas Priest. Sometimes you can't turn it off, right?
I know. Some people ask me, "Well, where's Bob?" I said, "He's talking to someone."
Yeah, he's off. He's off.
He's always
doing
talking
Bob
to someone.
stuff.
Yeah.
And, so it's really cool to be able to chat with you about it. Also to put, some of the pieces together, why you do what you do. And like you say, the source code, the things that combine to make me who I am today. I really love it. Thanks for all the support and all that stuff.
Can I mention we've been married 67 years?
Yeah, Dad's trying to stay alive and with Mom until they hit 70 years.
That's a goal.
So 67 years, 68 August 31st. That's a lot of dedication.
2 more years.
Yep. Christy didn't give up on me when we had our hard times, and like having to do 68 years of that. Like now, I think the worst is gone, and now I think we're really back to enjoying our marriage as individuals as our kids are moving out. And you two did that too. You went out and had the life you wanted after you took care of us.
Yes, we did. We did things that I didn't think we would ever do, like the motorhome. I thought, well, we'll try it, and if I don't like it, we won't do it.
No, you're
but
adventurous.
I loved it.
Yeah,
I loved it.
No,
it was an adventure.
Yep.
Always an adventure.
Yeah.
We did a lot. We've done a lot of things.
It's good.
And I wish that for you.
You guys are still, thanks, Ma. I know you do. You guys are still living. You're still doing it. You're still pushed. So I look forward to having that longevity like you.
Yep.
Hey, love you guys. Thanks for sitting down with me for a minute.
Okay.
On my podcast.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
It wasn't so bad, was it, Audrey?
No, not terribly.
All right. Love you all. Thanks.
I love you too,
This
Tim.
is Niver, Niverland, and Bob and Audrey Niver. Alamuchi. Audrey Mucci too. All right, now. Take care. That's it.
Okay.
You did great, Audrey. You didn't want to do it.
Cute, guys. You're going to break the internet. You're going to break it.
I woke her up, said, Tim wants to interview you. Oh, no.